I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. Right now, the story I'm about to tell you is something that's happening in my life currently, and I really haven't told this to anyone else. You're going to be the first ones to know about this because you're watching my YouTube channel. So I meet a lot of people online, right? That's where a lot of my good friends now are. So I've customized my Instagram that way. A lot of people see it and they see the adventures I go on. And if they are attracted to that type of thing, they reach out to me. So one person reached out to me and they've asked me a couple really cool questions about my vision for the world, about some of my goals, about what's holding me back in my business and my personal relationships. And it was really good questions. They just asked to get on a call. You might have experienced this on Instagram, but a lot of people message you trying to sell you something. I'm like, I don't know what this guy's trying to sell me, but if he's selling me something cool, so be it. I'll get on a sales call. It's worth networking. Maybe a relationship will develop out of it. I then get on the call and he doesn't try to sell me anything. We just have a really good conversation about spirituality, about our visions for the world, about how our businesses are going to create a large, long-lasting impact. And then I get off with kind of a good feeling, I, depending on the situation, like to keep more reserved and let other people talk. This dude was very, very chatty. Therefore, I kind of just took a step back, let him talk for most of the conversation, agreed in the parts I agreed, disagreed where I disagreed. And then a couple weeks later, he reached out to me saying, hey, I really have something to tell you. I was like, okay, I'll hop on a call. Then I hop on a call and things are going well. And all of a sudden they're trying to sell me something. And what they were trying to sell me really seemed good for me. And I really liked the product. So I was like, all right, sure, I'll pay in for it. It was just genuine transaction. And, they were selling it at a super low price as well. And in my head, I'm like, all right, cool. And they were even emphasizing like, this is just something I'm doing out of passion. I'm making a monetary buy-in to get other people to commit. And I was like, all right, yeah, if I put this money down, then I'm going to commit to it. And that's one thing that I've experienced with my own business. When people don't pay prices and they get things for free, they don't value it. So to get people to value things, definitely charge them money for it. So I pay him the money and we end up fulfilling the product, and I continue to talk to this dude for the next couple of weeks. We've now been in this relationship about like 2 months now. And a lot of other people that know this person are like, yeah, we're kind of confused about what he does, how he makes his money, very mysterious figure. But in conversation, he's super transparent, it seems like. And he talks so much. Like, this dude's a real chatterbox. Something I try not to be, because I like other people talking. And then I get on a one-on-one conversation. I'm like, all right, we talk about this kind of product that he sold me on. And as he said, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm like, okay, cool. So if you're not doing it for the money, how do you make your money? And they're like, oh, well, I make this much per month. And they kept it super vague what they offer the market and how they make their money. And I'm like, all right, cool. In my head, I'm like, it's probably a lie. They're lying to me. And they have this lifestyle on social media where they're like, oh, I'm in Miami and like doing this, doing that. And like, even when I ask them like, oh, you're in this location, like I'm about to go there, let's meet up. They're like, oh, well, I'm actually right now in this other location, gonna pack some clothes, but I'll be right back there, And I've watched Catfish one too many times. My mom would always have that on TV. And even though this person seems very genuine, seemed like a nice guy, so far my relationship has been positive with them. One of my core beliefs, and one thing that I do very little, everyone does it, even if you say you're the most transparent, honest person in the world, people on average lie 6 times a day. So I'm definitely guilty of it as well, but I try not to lie about big things, about big numbers, about things that I'm actually trying to do and impact. I'll often weave out information. That's one thing that you guys even see on my channel where you're like, how does this kid travel around the world? How is he making his money? And I'm like, if you want to know more about that, I'm pretty transparent about that on my Instagram. So you can feel free to follow that and learn more there. And I just withhold the information intentionally. I use that Zeigarnik effect. It's one thing one of my mentors told me, where it's like, mystery creates history, So you want to leave some sort of mystery to the type of person you are. Anyway, that's much better. I then am just thinking, I'm like, all right, cool. This person lied to me about something pretty big. They lied to me about their income. And then they lied to me about what they do for a living. And in my head, I'm just like, all right, this doesn't seem like it. Even the way they got me to buy into what they're doing, I was like, all right, that's probably a lie. Because they had this whole big story about how they came up with the idea. And I'm like, seems too good to be true. And the product doesn't necessarily fulfill that. It's really great product, don't get me wrong. But it just wasn't, I don't see how the story really connected to what he gave me. Anyway, one thing I was like, all right, should I go into this relationship more? Should I have a guard up? Should I let my guard down? Like, so far they haven't done anything bad to me. But one thing I've definitely learned in business, where I've gotten, like, literally people have straight up ghosted me, not paid me for my services, and like definitely disregarded me and treated me very, very poorly. I'm like, all right, I should definitely have my guard up until this person intentionally wrongs me. Then I like to give people benefit of the doubt, innocent until proven guilty. But once they intentionally wrong me, then that's it. And I'll just keep my guard up to make sure that I don't get wronged as much as I can, you know? And I definitely take precautions. Like, even, let's say, even in the scam market, you know? If you're like, oh, this is too good to be true, look at all the ways it is too good to be true. Google them, research. One thing that, like, I get hit up for scams so many times a day, like, so many scams out there. And the easiest thing to do is Google a phone number, you know? So easy to see. And for this person, I mean, I could easily reach out to people that they seem to have known for many, many years and ask them, hey, is this dude really cut out to what they are? And that may be something that I do in the future if it comes down to maybe us getting into some sort of business partnership or another transaction taking place. But for now, I'm just going to let it be, let the relationship grow. If I end up meeting them in person, which very likely, because I spend a lot of time where they live, so we might end up meeting in person. And it's so, I've gotten fucked over in the past, you know? Right before I was going to leave Australia, I had a client of mine ask me for a favor. They're like, oh, like, they run a restaurant. That's another one of their businesses. I worked for them for their marketing business. And they're like, oh, like, we're short-staffed for a restaurant. Do you mind just driving out, like, helping for a week? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, this is a professional relationship. You paid me in the past for my services. I assume you'll pay me for this. Immediately after, they're like, oh, we'll pay you in cash. I'm like, all right, cool. Where's the cash? Took a month, and they finally sent me the cash. They sent me the incorrect amount. And then when I try to follow up, absolute ghost. I had to get the Australian government involved. Like, I'm not afraid. I'm a man of my word, and I know I can go to the government because I'm always someone that has that honesty about me, especially when it comes to business. So one of my friends, he actually, during this whole worldwide crisis that happened very, very recently, I'll kind of keep details minimal for the viewer, but a lot of people were hitting me up seeing how I was loving life, and while they were like super depressed, and they're like, oh, like, hope you're doing well. And they tried to get me to like talk about the issue. And then my friend, I was like, how do I respond to this? And he was like, just act out of love, constantly act out of love. And then people may wrong you, but you won't have any bad karma and you won't have any negativity on your conscience. So I acted out of love. I'm like, wishing you all the best. I'm enjoying myself. And then they just read my message and left, you know? They weren't trying to get me anything out of me. And I acted out of love. And people, when you act out of love, people may take advantage of you, and you just have to have your guard up, obviously. But then you aren't available for more negativity. You act out of love, and people can take advantage of you if you're acting out of hate and acting out of negativity. They can spin it against you, but the only way to spin love against love is with more love. So the only thing they can do is send me more love back. And they're just like, shit, you know, like, I was trying to do something malicious and I couldn't because this person was just so overly positive, and it backfired on me. So if you're listening to this right now, some actionable things for you is you have someone who's lied to you, you know, put your guard up. You can cut them completely off, for sure. Like, that's something you have all rights to do. But think, by you cutting them completely off, are you acting out of hate or love? All right? You can act out of love for yourself, cut them off, or if you're acting out of hate for that person. Like, this is something even in my family relationships where I've cut off family members before. Family members have cut off my side of the family before, not because of me, obviously. And I'm like, all right. And for me, cutting off family members, I thought, okay, am I acting out of love or hate? I'm like, no, this is a hateful act. But then by me keeping my distance still, like right now, I just moved into a new place. Me keeping my distance allows me to love myself. And have no malintent towards them and never act out of malintent. And it just allows me to love myself, and even I can love them by giving them their space. So this is to you. Act out of love, not out of hate. Keep your guard up, keep your distance, but always make love the central motivation for your actions. So if you want more advice on your specific situation, I'm here to help you. Like, literally will not charge you for my advice for this. Feel free to reply, comment below what you're dealing with, leave your Instagram, and then we can talk about this more privately over Instagram. If you want to talk about it privately starting off, you can message me at talon.in.color on Instagram, and I reply to all my DMs there. This is kind of not the content that I have been putting out lately. I've been putting out a lot of travel-oriented content, but I just felt like this message, it was so present in my life today that I need to speak on it. So thank you for getting this far in the video. If you are exploring cool places, please share them with me over on Instagram in the comments. If this video helped you and you feel like you got some sort of insight out of this, leave a like, subscribe, because that really helps the algorithm. Show this to other people and let people really see this if they need to. So there's a reason you saw this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Continue exploring, and hope you have an epic day.